Hello everyone, it is ThatClassicBrick and welcome to Ask the Stud episode 9. Now, this is the series where I answer your questions that you leave in the comments below. By the way, remember to add the hashtag AskTheStud in the comments. We're going to get right on into it. I also do want to tell you guys right now, with all the Black Friday deals and insaneness going on, there is a $40 free $40 in the description. All you have to do is sign up for Rakuten, and whenever you buy any $40 product, they send you 40 back. You just have to buy it and have the little browser add-on added. So you buy from pretty much any website. If you buy from Walmart, if you buy from Target, and you have this applied, you'll instantly get that money back. It's fantastic and really, really cool. Now, also this week I did take some questions from Instagram because for those who know, my dog passed away last week, so a lot of people were sending their condolences, so we didn't get as many questions. So I figured I'd put in a few questions from Instagram. And we're going to start right off with a question from Mike and Ike. Now, Mike and Ike asks, what is the largest Lego set you have accidentally dropped in? Ooh, I remember this. It was around 2015 because I remember the two sets that were involved. And I believe they are actually, one's right behind me right now. So what happened is this First Order TIE Fighter was sitting on my shelf. And the clips on it are not too great. And basically what happened is they kind of just fell off. And what happened was my big Star Destroyer set, the 2014 Star Destroyer, let me go get it. This big boy just was on the edge of a shelf, and that's all it needed to get knocked over. The entire thing shattered. I had to take it all apart for whatever was intact and had to reassemble it. That was one of the worst builds. That was one of the worst things I think I've had to do when it comes to rebuilding sets and doing that sort of stuff. That was just the worst experience, like, ever. That was painful. And it was just shattered, pieces everywhere. This was like 5 years ago now, at least. And that was very sad for me. I really didn't enjoy that. Now let's move into the next question. This next question is from FG Brix. What is your opinion on the price of the UCS AT-AT? Do you think it is worth it? Now, first off, I think the UCS AT is actually overpriced. Not by a crazy margin, by at least $50 to $75. Let me explain. Now, the pieces in this set are obviously a lot smaller than, say, ones like the Star Destroyer. But the Star Destroyer was still $700. And granted, it was a lot pieces less, but it's still a lot bigger. You look at another set like the Millennium Falcon, that was $800, same price as the UCS AT-AT. It is almost, I believe, over 1,000 pieces less than the Millennium Falcon, rather, and somehow it is the exact same price. How does that add up? It has roughly the same amount of minifigures, nothing really exclusive to it, like extremely exclusive to the UCS AT-AT. So I feel like a good price for that set probably would have been like $749.99 because I don't believe it's supposed to like supersede the Millennium Falcon, but I also believe that it should be above the Star Destroyer, so I think $750 probably would have been a better price for it. With that being said, do I think it is worth it? Now, that depends. It depends on what you were looking for. I don't think you should spend $800 on any one Lego set. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Now, I did buy the Millennium Falcon, mind you. I will say that. But the thing is, I liked that one. But in all seriousness, the Millennium Falcon I feel is a much better value if you're going to spend $800 on a Lego set every single time. Get the Millennium Falcon. That's just my opinion. I think the Millennium Falcon is just a great set with great interior, decent figures. I'm not going to say they're the best figure. Now, next up, we have a question from Sam Moisian. Aside from the 501st Trooper, what is the best clone army to build with, taking into account the costs? Now, first off, clone army building is cheap. No, not cheap, no matter how you do it, really. And the cheapest way to do it right now is obviously the 501st Trooper, so if you want to do an army, do those. But with that said, the only other clone trooper that's really for sale right now, other than the Airborne 212th Trooper, is the 332nd Trooper in the AAT. Now that set's currently $32, and you're basically paying $30 per set, and plus you get all the additionals, and sure, you could sell the rest of the set, but without the 332nd Trooper, you're probably going to make your money back about, I mean, it will be close, like, you'll probably be short like $5, $6, but if you're willing to pay that for those sets, it's just a lot of work to take in those sets and then sell them back online without a 332nd Trooper, and obviously you don't want a billion Ahsokas. Maybe you want to hold on to those droids, I don't know. That is clearly the cheapest army to build right now just because it's still on sale, and that is a huge factor in it. And if you want to go like for another, like the cheapest clone troopers, generally speaking, as far as I'm aware right now, are the Geonosis Troopers, so you could get those, but I'm not the biggest fan of those. I think they're kind of ugly. That's just my opinion. But yeah, 332nd, again, probably not the answer you're looking for. You could also totally do like some Phase 1 clones. Like those are relatively cheaper than Phase 2. So if you want something along those lines, I know that's probably, again, not the answer you're looking for, but that's my answer. Next up, we have a question from the Redheaded Builder. Have you ever considered decaling? I know this is quite an interesting question, and I have a lot. I've been sent plenty of decals, like from buddies like mine Jonak Toys, who has disappeared off the face of the earth recently, and we're not sure where he went. But yeah, I've considered decaling. Certainly, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not really into it. It's like too much work, and for what you could buy for like $10-12. I have a buddy who decals them for me, and I just don't want to get involved doing that. It's like too tiny, and I can't be bothered by it. Honestly, it's neat. I know a lot of people who do it. Respect them for it, but I can't like see stickering little minifigures. It's just not my thing, and it takes way too much time in my opinion. Next up, we have a question from the YouTube comments from Aaron Schuster. Do you think LEGO will make any UCS sequel sets? If so, which one would you like them to make? For instance, there is a First Order Star Destroyer, ATM-6, Kylo Ren Shuttle, and maybe even a First Order AT-ST, but you know, that has never been even a real playset. And the First Order TIE Fighter, just throwing out ideas. By the way, my heart goes out to you, and I really appreciate that. Now, I think it could happen eventually. I'm not completely discounting the possibility of it ever happening, but I think it's more unlikely than likely, at least for the short term, say next 5 to 7 years. I'm sure down the line, once the sequels probably get more love, because I feel like that's how it works with Star Wars, where you just have the next generation loves the old movies, and you know, kids who are young now, who grew up with the sequels, or younger now, who grew up with the sequels, are going to grow up and be the ones who love it. So I'm sure it'll happen eventually, but I don't see it anywhere in the near future, next 10 years, maybe in 10 years. We'll see. I'd be genuinely shocked if anytime sooner we got one. Next up, we have a question again from YouTube from BrickYoda555, a good buddy of mine. How many sets do you think we'll get for the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars shows? The Obi-Wan Kenobi show and or Ahsoka? Now, this is kind of an interesting question, and I think it really depends on how popular these shows are. Now, with a show like The Mandalorian, they made one to start back in 2019, and then they did, obviously, battle packs and that sort of stuff. But then they really started to realize, once The Mandalorian first came out, how big it was going to be, so then they started pumping out things like the Razor Crest, the buildable Baby Yoda, those types of things that are, like, right behind me. It really depends. Now, I feel like for these shows, there will probably be a good chunk. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they made up a majority of 2023's sets, pending there be a movie. I'm pretty sure there's a movie 2023. But that's going to make up a majority of the January and probably summer waves for those specific movies. And I think the reason for that being just because Disney's going to see, or LEGO's going to see, like, whoa, these are popular. We need to cash in on this. And chances are, again, next year, there's a possibility we get something for some of these in the summer waves. I'm not 100% confident. Like with the Bad Batch Shuttle, we got that. But we're not going to get everything we want. So I guess at least you could probably look at The Mandalorian as an indicator, because chances are, at least like even with Book of Boba Fett, like they're all going to be huge. And I don't think LEGO's, they're going to keep going over and repeating the same cycle of not being prepared for these things, and then they come out, and then they have to rush to put out a bunch of sets. Like, you saw the pretty rushed set from, you know, All Available Evidence, the Encounter on Tatooine set, which was just a hodgepodge of builds, you know, just a hodgepodge of figures, really, and the only decent figure in there, and new figure being the Mandalorian. So yeah, I can't give you an exact number on that, like, but if I had to guess, probably like 5 per show, I guess, maybe 4 or 5. Now, next up, we have a question from Jabba Blabber. Is there a potential for a UCS Jedi temple? Now, of course, there's always a potential for it, but do I think it's going to be likely? Probably not. If they were to do something, it would most likely, almost certainly, be a Master Builder series style set like the Cantina or Cloud City. I've proposed this for many buildings in the sequels. There's so much they could do. They could literally do like 3 of these from those movies. They could do a Naboo Palace for Episode 1. They could do a Geonosis and Reno for Episode 2. They could do UCS Jedi Temple for Episode 3. And there's just so many locations they could do so many amazing things with, and I'm just worried they won't. I would love to see this, obviously, again, with the Master Builder series set. I've actually proposed this type of a set on my Revenge of the Sith set ideas. So I think there's a possibility. Again, 2025 is probably the most likely year we get it, if not, you know, it's going to be a long time before we get something even Jedi Temple related, because as far as I'm aware, I don't think we have one thing from the Jedi Temple in LEGO, which is kind of absurd seeing how much time we spent in the Jedi Council and Jedi Temple throughout the entire movies, Clone Wars, everything. It's kind of mind-boggling that we've gotten nothing even in reference to this building, which just baffles my mind. And I think actually something more likely is you could see like a Jedi Council Chamber 18 plus set. I think that's a very actually likely possibility. So I'd throw that out there as something, you know, once they start to exhaust their original trilogy 18 plus sets, they might run to that, which would be really cool. Now next up, Ben's Brix asks me, what is the agenda for Studs at Brickmas 2021? And yeah, that really, I like this comment because obviously I'm very excited for this. Now we are obviously going to be giving away lots of sets. We're going to be doing obviously the mock contest this year, which was very popular and successful last year, and we're going to be bringing back the charity contest, where I just encourage you guys to do good things and upload a video of it, and then you are automatically entered to win a Lego set. So just basically do nice things, charitable things, because that's the time of year it's supposed to be. Now I'm thinking I might add a third category, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm very, again, excited for that one, and yeah. So with that said, that was this episode of Ask the Stud. Again, remember to ask your questions down below, and also feel free to subscribe. I will see you guys all in the next one. Remember to peace out and stay awesome.